majority of gun deaths happening in cities, and what is it that Giuliani did? There was something about the police in New York that can sort of stop people that are suspicious. It's controversial, but do we have that here?
I don't know, and that's one of those, we're going to get your name and get your answer to that. But there are a lot of gun deaths in urban areas. I think Mayor Giuliani, I heard him speak in Danbury almost 2 weeks ago. And one of the things that he said is, and he probably would not be a favorite of some here for his positions on gun control. And he said, some have criticized, saying gun control doesn't work, look at Chicago. And his speech, and again, I'm just telling you what he said, was, we had the same gun laws in New York, maybe even stricter than they had in Chicago, but we had far fewer gun deaths. We need to find out what he did. But, for example, we had, what was it called, John, the Gun Trafficking Task Force that we funded in Connecticut, that the funding was taken away. In the Republican proposal, we talked about putting $1 million as a marker in that program. That is to help fund local police who will go after and confiscate guns from criminals. So there are things that we probably should be doing, and we'll actually get some specifics on what he did in New York and get back to you. Did you have a question, ma'am?
Comment. I don't want you to move fast on this. This gentleman said you're not moving fast enough. Colorado proposed 14 bills and found out that 7 of them were. Found out that 7 of them were unconstitutional. So take your time and try and get it right, please.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not about.
Enfield's background checks are, you go through a lot. You jump through a lot of hoops.
That's
in this
fine.
town,
That's fine. But I'm talking about the universal background checks, that type of information. And you know what? It's quite possible that I've been misinformed by reading the Hartford Courant. And for the first time a citizen that happened. Yeah. So put it out there. I'll go through the websites and stuff, but let's get some more. Maybe communications is what we need, and not speed, but communications would be good.
Brett, do you have that? What's the name of our task force website?
Give me 1 second.
Okay, one.
It's a-safer. It's www.cga.ct.gov/a-safer-Connecticut.
Is there a link to my website?
Yeah.
And there's a link directly from his website.
So, and that'll give you the proposals put forth by the task force. And there were 3 subcommittees. One was on school security. One was on mental illness. Those 2 subcommittees reached a series of bipartisan proposals in areas where there's disagreement. And quite frankly, I think we need to do a lot more talking and working about mental health issues as well. And the gun task force did not. And there are a series of Republican proposals and Democrat proposals that you can see on there. And
people's mental health. So that's another delicate issue. It's all hard stuff.
It's all hard. It's all hard stuff, but it wouldn't surprise me if we get something wrong.
Just don't break the law by
and as long as we're not violating the Constitution and the rights that people have, which I think there are reasonable limits to those rights, and if something doesn't work, we should go back and look at it again.
My colleagues are sitting on your committee, Dennis McCarthy, the chief of...
Sure, good guy. Every Friday he's up there, the governor appointed him to his task force.
Right. He's on the task force, he's a real good guy.
I want to say he's from Norwalk.
He's from Norwalk. He's the fire chief of Norwalk.
Yeah, good guy.